Opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Coffee Time with Blind United. If you don't know me by now, I'm Ed, and me and my brother Pedro, we're trying to make it happen this morning. Good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, Ed, and good morning, everybody listening. Happy Wednesday, guys. Just right here, chilling, just hanging out with Ed.
Hey, trying to get our day started, and so anyway, no interest groups today. It's end of the month, so we don't. It always happens this way at the end of the month. So, but no interest groups today. So, we just in there chilling. We're gonna get into some kind of conversation. What's on your mind? There's always a whole lot of stuff. Something we haven't talked about, Pedro. Because since it happened anyway. What was your impression of the DNC?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the DNC. I watched day one. She ended up doing what like Trump did. I know Trump. He in the on the for the Republicans when they did their thing, he was there every day. I think Kamala was there every day too. So I think a new standard has been set for these conventions.
Well, it was a whole different energy level.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Of course, we can't see, so we can't get into verification of crowd size. But when they were polling the delegates, it was like it was a party. You know what I'm saying? And when they were polling the Republicans, delegates, it was almost like, I don't know, a funeral.
Yeah. So a new standard's been set for like meaning make it livelier, have music, have like entertainers to make the energy pop. And then that's what I got from the Democratic side, from the Democrats. The Republicans, it was more chill. They didn't really have no music, no
It's
DJ.
more formal and all that kind of stuff, I don't know.
It's more formal. You're right. I was gonna say a little joke, but no way. Yeah, it was more formal. They kept it more within. Well, there ain't no guidelines on how to do these, but they kept it within formal lines. And I think with the DNC, they were enthusiastic, energetic, and it was like a party. And the people they kept talking to, that I'm here to see this. You know what I mean? And um, there was just a little put off that I didn't really like, and I feel like the Democrats kind of blocked themselves from a certain attack to the Republican side, to Trump. But that's my opinion right there. A certain speaker. But overall, the speakers was great. I enjoyed Michelle Obama's speech over Obama. I felt like she gave a great speech.
Well, he said it was going to be hard to follow her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she gave a great speech, and she's improved. She got better in time, right? You know, when time passes, she's been, improving, and it's good to see them there throw their support behind Kalama.
Right,
I'm
right,
already
right.
messing the name up, Miss Harris. Let me, because I'm
Uh,
always misspeaking sometimes. A name.
I well, I mean, it is. You got to get it to roll off your tongue the right way to make it right. Make it
Hmm.
sound right. But
Yeah, I don't want to
I mean,
sound
but
like the other guy.
exactly. Well, you're not doing it intentionally. He is. So,
Hmm.
But again, I mean, I think it was a lot of energy, man. A lot of folks, great speakers and whatever. Man, that quite a few Republicans. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Came in. Republicans for Kamala. You know what I'm saying? Republicans for Harris, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
There's this.
Hmm.
Uh, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. So I didn't per se watch it uh, live. As some folks did. I did more individual speeches.
Mm.
Over the course of a couple of days. Through YouTube and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The main speeches and stuff like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to see the energy. I wanted to see like with when the delegates walk up and they say their state, how they're voting, and then they were interviewing folks that just went to the convention and stuff like that. And I wanted to see that, is to see, to get a little sense of how was the scene and stuff like that, even with the Republican side, because I'm already seeing little trends if the Republicans don't change their talking points, giving something of substance. I have a problem. There is reports, two of his staffers are saying that he was upset and he went to play golf instead of going to campaign, and he wanted just to complain. But that's what two staffers said to a newspaper.
But that's what he does. When does he ever have anything of any substance to say?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, I mean, I hate to go here, but just as Obama said in his speech, Trump has been crying and complaining since he came down his golden elevator back in 15.
Yeah, and back in 15, he was saying that the left were the crybabies and and all this, and
Well,
I think
but
it's a sign of projection.
he's always been about projection. He's always been
Hmm.
about projection. He wants to project on you what he is, so
Hmm. But
but
if he doesn't change his game plan, I just trying to keep it more in a general sense, seeing the race that's happening, for the presidency, and if he doesn't step up his game, if he doesn't listen to the staffers, the thing I think that happens is he always gets in his way, and he doesn't see it, and they trying to warn him, and he's not listening, and that's you already putting yourself in a self-destruct mode in a way, you know what I mean, because you're
well,
blinding
he is
yourself.
self-destructive. He is self-destructive. I see where his staff. I mean, because he's kind of bound to this debate. Was that the 10th or the 11th, whatever
The
it
10th.
is,
Hmm.
on the ABC? But you know, they were supposed to go with the same rules that they had, against Biden, which was, with the mute thing. And Kamala said she don't need all that. But Trump's staff, they wanted to be the same rules because they know he gonna get himself in trouble if you don't mute him. He don't know, he has no filter.
Yes, guys, and you could tell by signs like that if they want a mute button because they know he talks out of impulse, or he does actions out of impulse. It's letting us know his type of behavior, of his personality, and do we really want that when it comes to the nuclear football?
That part right there. You
Do
know what
we
I'm
need
saying?
that?
We don't
Um,
need if he has no.
yeah, and I'm against the wars. I'm against what's happening in the Middle East right now, when all that. It's a touchy subject, but I believe everybody should be free. Everybody should have their own state, be
Right, right,
able.
right, right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm against the thing in Ukraine. Putin need to back his butt up and go on back over there. I mean, it's not the USSR no more. A lot of those little small, independent the countries over there. Once Russia fell for the USSR fell apart. And all them little countries got their independence back. I mean, that's all he's trying to do. He's trying to rebuild the
Yeah.
USSR. He's trying to
So
make it all under his control again. You
okay.
know.
So you don't think it's because NATO's getting closer to his borders, he was gonna do these actions no matter if NATO moved or not?
Well, I mean, again, because NATO is offering protection to these folks, right? That
Okay.
used to be part of the USSR. I mean, back in
Hmm.
the day, Russia had conquered all of them smaller countries,
Yes.
right, and put them under one umbrella. And then once the Iron Curtain fell and all that other kind of stuff, when it went down, all them folks got their independence back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
protection is one thing. If you say, okay, I'm gonna protect these countries, but I mean like putting arms and putting like missiles and stuff like that in these countries, you think that could have been a little poke at the bear, I guess you could say, as a saying.
okay, well, how could I protect you if I don't have no weapons?
Well, yeah, but it's something similar to if Russia would have put some missiles like in Mexico or in one of these islands, we would have a big problem with it.
Well, I mean, again, if Mexico was to seek help from Russia, right?
Hmm.
I mean, again, these smaller countries are seeking. They join NATO. They're seeking that help.
Yeah.
That's the difference to me. I mean, Putin is he just wants to take it. He don't want
Well,
nobody to tell him what to do.
yeah.
None of that. He wants to live back in the day when the world was not supposedly as civilized, and you had these people to just conquer everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. If it's like that, yeah, I understand. I'm just saying overall, protection could have came. We could have put some NATO troops right there and allies, things like that. But maybe it could have been ramped down and told them, look, you don't make no move on these countries, and then have a certain leverage. But we're not. I'm not
Right, and
in
and
those
and
conversations and stuff like
and,
that.
and back in the day, you used to see that they didn't send in per se, the Allied troops, right? What they
Hmm.
sent in was UN troops.
UN troops. Okay, okay, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Which was, NATO. They controlled the United Nations troops.
Okay.
So rather than uh, one particular country, sending in their army or whatever like that. Like I said, it was a UN army. Now it was backed up. I mean, and people from all over within the United Nations, they could join that military just like they could join the ones from their countries.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was a different.
And even back then, was he still saying something about the troops being there? Or
Always. I mean, it's
okay,
so
okay.
whenever somebody's close on these borders, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But and he just said, but the thing is, he wants to expand his borders.
Mm.
I mean, look at what
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing. You again, Ukraine, a lot of them are Poland and
Yeah,
all of them
Poland.
other countries. They used to be part of the USSR. They
Hmm.
had been conquered by Russia once before.
Mm.
Okay, but when the fall of Russia, when they were broke, didn't have no money, the people who didn't have nothing to eat, none of that, all of that. I mean, they went really really bad over there, right?
Hmm.
All of their military stuff got sold off on the black market. Okay,
Wow.
all of it. So it all fell apart, and that's when Ukraine and them other independent countries got their countries back.
Mm-hmm.
So now that he's come in and rebuilding Russia, he's trying to reconquer those lands, Pedro.
Yeah, yeah,
He wants to go
yeah,
back to the glory days of Mother Russia.
yeah. Yeah. He wants to. Yeah, he wants to increase his power. Is what he wants. He wants to.
Exactly.
Maybe start another Cold War. And we don't need a Cold War, man. We spend so much money in arms and weapons and war that
I mean, the
man.
terrorists. I mean, they were selling his military, not his military, but Russia's stockpiles. I mean, again, it was on the black market, man. I mean, there was big things about that back in the day. You know,
Mm,
where that's a lot of your terrorist stuff. That's how they were getting hold of nuclear warheads and stuff.
yeah,
Was from
yeah.
Russia. You know what I'm saying?
Their war in Afghanistan, too, right? That had an effect on that too, right?
Well, and here's the crazy part about Afghanistan. Russia was they occupied Afghanistan for a long
Mm-hmm.
time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally they got put up. They gave up and left, and then America went up in there. You know,
Yeah.
now we didn't have to give up and leave. You
You know
man,
what's the nickname of that lands, right?
what?
The graveyard of empires, meaning no one's been able to finish the job there.
Nobody can conquer the Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I mean, it's I mean, you know, I guess that's another form of saying, holy war, whatever. You know, I don't
mhm.
know, but I mean, leave them people alone. If that's the way they want to live, let them live. You know, I mean, we can say in humanitarian efforts or whatever. Well, I mean, if they don't leave, I mean, all you need to do is make an avenue for them to leave. You don't need to be up in there all up in their Kool Aid.
Yeah, especially if you're dropping bombs and 90% of those are casualties. When you kill parents and you leave childs alone like that, what you think is gonna happen? They're gonna have an animosity, it's gonna have hatred against us.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I
all of
mean?
that.
So in a
So,
sense it builds more
but
terrorism.
but again, so Afghanistan is not only do they have Russian weapons, they got the stuff
Mhm.
that we left when we just left. When Biden took over.
Yeah, we kind of left too fast, but Biden did not have a choice, and this because of Trump. Trump already had a deal.
He had a deadline.
Yeah, he had a deadline. He had did a deal with the leaders from
That
over
was,
there.
I mean, excuse my language, but that was Trump's big fu to Biden.
Hmm.
Is basically what that was.
Yeah, and Biden didn't have no choice. They didn't want to extend the deadline, nothing like that. And Biden he had his back to the wall, and they try to do the best he can. But when you already have your hands tied
You
behind
got
your
to
back, how much can you do?
right. You got to do all you can to get your people out. You can't worry about whatever else you're leaving there. You just got to try to evacuate the people. I mean, again, and you're more concentrating on your. I hate to say it, but you're concentrating on your enlisted personnel. You know what I'm saying? Before you start working on getting
On the way
allies
down.
out.
Yeah, yeah,
Refugees and stuff like that. So
yeah. And it was a horrible sight
it
to
was a it
see.
was a it was a rough point. It was a tough
Hmm.
thing for him to have to deal with that. But
Hey,
hey,
we're out of there. You know what I mean? We're not spending trillions of dollars there, and
anymore.
anymore. So that's money that could go somewhere good, at least, man, education, medical, whatever it could be. But you know what I mean? That's what we should put for, like push for. That's one of the thing I heard
Well,
in the Bernie Sanders speech in the convention. You saw how he turned it around on them and said,
that's
"Oh,
one speech I missed, I guess, because yeah, I didn't catch his speech at the DNC.
yeah." One of the lines he said was, "They say we're radical. We're actually populists. They're the radicals." And he pointed out, he went through a list and he came out with percentages of the country wants that and what percentages don't. And he was dropping some bombs, you know what I mean? Um, 60, I think it's more than 60% of the country wants abortion to be legal.
It's more
But
than 60. It's more like 85, 90.
see, it keeps up with the numbers, and even with that, I believe there should be guidelines because some people do take abuse of the system when there is no guidelines, especially if we're talking about abortion. Some ladies might use that as their contraceptive. You know what I mean? But it's always good to have guidelines, and all these things do have like guidelines when they are legalized.
Right, right, right.
Why not be a populist country? What's popular, make that what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
I mean, I hear you. I mean, again, I mean, I'm sitting there thinking about what you say. Like you say, need some guidelines. Or what I'm trying to. I get your whole point. About some folks. Using. I mean, again, they don't use contraceptive, but they using that kind of. This. Oh, damn! I done got pregnant again. I hate to say it,
Mhm.
but there are people like that. We know that.
Or there's also people that have mental disabilities
That part too.
that once they're adult, the state can't really tell them what to do with their bodies. So when they end up pregnant, that you go over and over and do these, and one example was a young lady. She couldn't bear no more. She couldn't hold a baby because too many abortions. She had around 5 in 1 year. This lady is mentally disabled. That's why I think there should be guidelines, and there should have been help for her to put in a UTI or in birth control.
Right,
So
right, right.
there needs to be guidelines because
Yeah.
the
Like you
system
say,
can be
some
abused.
kind of a birth control. I wouldn't say necessarily the surgery of cutting the tubes and all that other stuff, but like you say, an IUD or some sort of a medication,
Yes, yes,
you know,
something like that because
medicated kind of thing. Uh, uh, I agree. I agree. They got especially for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean. Uh, I believe it's a woman's choice to do what she want to do with her body. I myself personally, I would never want one of my children to be aborted. It was never really a question with any of my children when they were born. I mean, I ended up with what, six of them.
mhm.
So it was no, well, it was never a question we were going to get rid of them or whatever. But uh, uh, but I still believe it's a personal choice for the woman. I mean, and then
Mhm.
when you take in these other underlying things, like you say, mental disabilities, stuff like that. Well, that's an underlying thing. Well, I mean, you're already under control. The person is already a ward of the state per se, and being managed by the regional center, So if there's any pharmaceuticals to keep them, stable or whatever, I see no reason why you couldn't include, because of the fact you can't control their sex life, you
Mm.
can control, the fact of whether they can get pregnant or not.
Yeah, you can't control their actions, but you could at least, you know, with those guidelines, protect that person too. Because that young lady, well, I don't know the age, but that lady that had the mental disability, is actually also needs that help. Is a help that she needs. Because of her actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And we're free in this country, so she could do whatever actions it is, as long as it's legal.
as long
Well,
as it's legal. I mean, and again, they talk all of those stuff. I mean, there's never been, how you gonna, they talk about killing babies after they've already been born. I mean,
makes no
no,
sense.
that makes no sense. Now, I mean, if you're getting ready to go deliver and you have to make a choice between the baby and the mama, I mean, I agree. Somebody got to make that choice. And if
And
you
it's a
if you
hard,
choose, it's
hard
a
choice.
hard choice. But if you choose to save the mommy, I'm sorry, the baby got to go. Because like, again, risk of life. If you feel your life is more valuable than your child, then yeah, if it's going to kill you to have a child, I agree. You should be able to abort in that ninth month. You know, but
And
again,
those are less than single percentages of of what happens. I think
Right,
even
right,
less
right.
than
It's so
5 or
rare.
3%. It's in the low percentages that a baby gets aborted around the 9th month. It's
Well, I
small.
mean, it's the thing. Just like when they when
Hmm.
they when they're advertising a medication or a drug, it may contain these side effects. I
Hmm.
mean, the numbers might be way, way, way low as far as you actually having one of them side effects, but because it's possible, you got to put it in there.
Yeah, and I think the Republicans exacerbate that. Like they make it bigger and bigger, and that's they look at the smallest thing and they try to blow it up and be about that
Of course, I do.
instead of trying to unite and set guidelines and come together and work this issue out. It is a
Well,
major issue in our country. It's something that people are passionate about, but let's meet in the middle and work it out. But they
Well,
don't.
I mean, again, live your life the way you and do what you believe in, and let others do what they believe in.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm,
it's just as really is that simple.
mhm,
You know, if you don't believe in abortion, well, then don't go get one. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in birth control, then don't go buy no condoms. Don't go get on birth
mhm,
control. Don't do IUD. Don't do none of that, right? If you don't believe in it. I mean, there's people out there right now because of their faith or whatever, they don't believe in transfusions.
mm. And that's their choice, you know what I
That's their
mean?
choice.
And that's their choice. That that's what they believe. They're more entitled to believe that. But for those that will need an infusion when it's an emergency, they should be able to get one. You know.
And they can, but because of their faith, what their beliefs, right?
Mhm,
Okay, which this is basically what we're talking about. These people are trying to force their beliefs on the rest of the society, right?
mhm.
Okay, but okay, so does that mean no? We're gonna stop doing transfusions for everybody because that one group believes in not getting transfusions?
And it saves lives. It saves lives, folks.
Right,
It
right, right,
saves
right.
lives.
Well, I mean, I hate to go here. Abortion save lives.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's the whole point when you talking about, especially when you talking about an abortion in the 9th month.
Yeah, especially in that extreme situation,
Yeah,
that hardship of that situation that a father might have to make, uh, choosing his wife or choosing his child that is not yet at this world. It's
it's not a
it's
choice
uh,
I want to make. I know that.
uh yeah, I don't want that on my plate because it will be a tough choice that could break a man, it could break a woman, whoever it may be, because that's a really tough choice, guys, and I wouldn't like it in my plate, but if that it comes down to it, the person has to choose, and if they have the option for an abortion, I'm all for it. If it's gonna save a life, just like a transfusion would, even with organs and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, you know. So like for myself, I'm an organ donor. Whatever works, they could have it. If it could save someone or two or three people, I'm all for it. I will note down, don't take my eyes, they don't work.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of procedures that we have guidelines that are legal that save lives. And, you know, um, abortion is one and two is something that, is Roe versus Wade, that whole thing that has happened. So it's a big issue. It's a major issue in our country for sure.
I'm just running through the comments down here. Monica and Paul say good morning. George say he voting for Clinton.
For Clinton, that's well before I cut to commercial, that's the one I like I could do without that speaker. Because I think the Democrats blocked themselves from a legitimate attack on Trump and a major attack on Trump. But since they got Bill talking, they cannot use that attack.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Oh. And Paul, throw that out there as well. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping up on the comments. Today starts the Paralympics. So
Oh,
it's opening day for the Paralympics, and they're in Paris as well. So go USA.
hey, there you go, USA, USA. Let me cut the commercials and we come back
All right.
and continue our conversation, guys.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
You are cordially invited to Blind United's Spooky Evening on Saturday, October 26th, 2024, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Veteran Foreign War Post 2070, VFW, 825 South Magnolia Avenue, Monrovia, California, 91016. Cross Street is Chestnut. Come and enjoy a fun, spooky evening with games, a costume contest, and Halloween treats with friends and family. 825 South Magnolia Avenue. Cost per adult $25, children 5 to 13 $15, children 4 and under free. The meal will include hot links and a grilled chicken sandwich, chips, potato salad, soda, water, and cupcakes. A cash bar will be available. Door prize drawings will be held throughout the event. Deadline to turn in money is Thursday, October 10th, 2024. You can sell your money to Blind United Incorporated at blindunited2022@gmail.com. All children must be accompanied by an adult to the restroom. For more information, you may contact F.A. Chandra Howard at 909-774-6290 or Cheryl Thurston at 909-821-9589.
All right. I don't know. I just had a thought, man. I wonder what kind of games they have for our community in the Paralympics.
Good question. Good question. Hey, we might have to look it up and talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, they started the Paralympics, guys. I know they. Excuse me. I hope they have it on audio descriptive on these channels. I was not able to watch the Olympics with descriptive audio, but somebody told me on Channel 4, Peacock had it. So it might be due to I didn't have access to change certain menus at the time,
Okay.
so I didn't get to enjoy that. But hey, if they have it for the Paralympics too, descriptive audio, man, that is pretty cool. I actually have something like if it doesn't have descriptive audio, I don't watch it. The
Wow.
only way you get me to watch something without descriptive audio, if one of my children wants me to watch it with them. That's the
That's right.
only way. It's the only way I watch something because um um I I don't know what's going on. Sometimes you need that description and um
Well, we miss a lot. I mean, because so many things are going on visually, right? A
yes.
lot of information is being presented visually. And if we don't see it, then, we just sitting there scratching out, okay, what's going on? If somebody's not telling us, then, we have to try to decipher what little information we get and what little bit of narration they do, you know. I mean, you got to try to follow the storyline, but you don't know that homeboy just reached in his pocket and pulled out a knife and was getting ready to stab old boy in the back, whatever. You don't know
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, you don't, and sometimes you lose some of the story, and important scene may happen,
Yeah.
and you didn't get enough from it, and
You know, I
Sometimes I'm like,
found Pedro
mm,
now doing movies in audio description,
mm-hmm,
and I hope it's not a hallucination,
mm-hmm.
but it seemed like I'm getting a little bit more information, some things that I may have overlooked when I could see these movies visually.
Yes, I had that effect to some people that are visual, and I put all the descriptive, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm down. Go ahead and put it so we could watch a movie." Then they end up like knowing more of the movie because of the audio description. They notice things that they're like, "Oh, I didn't never notice that. I didn't know that person was in that car, or I didn't know that car was following." Like things like that.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, and it gives a great help.
It brings a
Which
whole nother level, level of understanding to the movie. I mean, for us, if we don't have it, I mean, most movies to me, I'm being honest, they're pretty boring. Especially action movies. Oh man, I'm done. You know what
I
I'm
used to
saying?
love action movies, and now they move so fast that a description helps a little bit, but they can't describe everything that is happening.
Right.
And until they're able to beam it up into our brains directly and past the eye, you
Right.
know.
Well, I mean, again, back when we were visual, I know myself. I mean, oh damn, I'm ducking and moving. I mean, you going with the action because you can visually see it all. But now, like I said, the audio description, they at least you get a better understanding during the action. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just a bunch of noise and explosions and crashes and
Yes,
you know.
yes, and
Uh,
I like that they describe sometimes their outfit, the color. I know for those that never seen and was born blind, might not have a concept of the colors, so they might not care for that. But for me, I could still picture colors in my mind, so
right.
that makes a big difference. And then on horror flicks is something that I kind of hate about audio descriptive because, and I know it's necessary too, but when there's a horror flick, and let's say somebody's about to might take one to the gut, might take a hit to the gut, a stab or whatever, right? They would say, person walks up, stabs the person, and runs away, and then the action happens after, and you don't get that jump scare that you usually will get in a horror flick.
Right.
And that's what we want from a horror flick. That's
Well,
the object of a horror flick, is to keep you in the edge of the seat, make you jump when those gory moments happen. That's the effect we're looking for when we see these horror flicks.
I
I,
mean, I get you. I've never been a horror flick person. I mean, my wife loved them, so of course, I had to go to them, and I
yeah,
mean,
I'm okay.
some of them were okay, but for her, she just, nah, that shit too scary. I need somebody to be with me, and
I'm not.
she's holding on my arm, trying to pull it out of socket.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I'm in the mood to watch one, I'm like, okay, cool. I can't watch them all the time. I watch all types of movies. But I caught a few that actually let the action happen, and you get that whole, because when the action happens on a horror flick, you have the sound, you have the bass, the stabbing motion, all that, and all that together makes the jump scare, makes you like, oh snap, like you know.
I hear
So
you.
I seen a few when they do the actions, and then after they tell you that what just happened, so you could
Right, and again, it's the whoever does the
narration.
the right, the narration. Sometimes they do it before, sometimes they do it after. I've heard them also say the action before you hear the action.
Hmm.
As well. And again, sometimes, like you said, sometimes you hear the action and they tell you the action.
Yeah, well, for a
So
horror flick, man, we need to make some
uh,
guidelines for that.
yeah, that dude just snuck up and got him. That's what that was, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
But
some type of
again, audio
guideline.
description. It just for us, if we didn't have it, and we needed. I'm sorry, we need it with everything. I mean, I've given up on sports because of it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
Yeah, yeah, I understand
I
what you're
mean, I got
saying,
what
and
you're saying. You do it on the radio or whatever, man. But I mean, it's an art to it. I mean, the last person that I remember had that art down pat, and he didn't even realize how he was doing it was Chick Hearn.
mm,
I mean, Chick Hearn was just an artist with his narration. You know what I'm saying? Because he grew up doing it on radio. So once he got the job with the Lakers, again, whenever they were at home, he did it on KCAL, right? But
okay, okay.
when they were away and they were on a major network, he did it on the radio. So we would
Okay,
watch it
okay.
on NBC, ABC, whatever, right? But we'd turn the volume down and listen to it on the radio.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I do, and the
You
only reason
know,
I'm able to do it is with my NFL. Um, Especially I need to know what's happening. You know what I mean? And I have an app for it, but it's not the same. Boxing is one of the sports that I'm not able to get into no more.
that's another one.
And boxing is a dope sport with all these matches going and all the new how they taunt each other and they talk back mess to each other on TV. Hey, I want to see the fight. And I'll be like, man, I'll be all excited. And another one is it's my MMA, the UFC, man. I like seeing the
Uh,
octagon. I like seeing the fights, but I can't
I
sometimes.
never got into those. I mean, again, boxing, that was my thing. Man, fight night, that was man, get together with the fellas and got the big screen and and the sandwiches or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I mean, just, doing the whole fight card, you know what I'm saying? So they used to be a lot of fun. Visually, but again, now that I'm not visual, it just there's not you're not going to get that descriptive narration that would tell us who's hitting who and what kind of punch they threw. They're
Mhm.
just not going to put all that much effort into it.
Yeah, and sometimes it needs to be somebody that already been in boxing and knows the punches and knows a jab, a upper jab, a mid jab, and you know what I
Right,
mean? You need
right
somebody like
cross,
that.
left cross,
Hmm.
uppercut.
Yeah,
Hey,
and a good one that I noticed like that, you know who does it sometimes like that? Joe Rogan. When he knows, and he would tell you what hold they got him, and then what side of the leg, and which leg, and he describes, but he just because he's shooting out the moves, and he's telling you, how he has them on the mat, and so you get a gang of description. I don't know if he knows that he's kind of giving some description of it. It's working out, but he's one of the ones in the UFC that kind of does that.
right,
Even though he could
right,
improve, but it's not doing it for the blind community, just doing it for the UFC community, and he just comes out like that. So it's rare, like how you said for the Lakers, for the one that did it on the radio,
right.
then when he
Yeah,
did it on the networks, man, I bet you, man, it was all good because
yeah.
last year
Oh,
for the
Chicky
Super.
Baby, man, Chicky Baby was the stuff, man. He's the one that had all them old euphemisms, the jello's chilling,
Mm.
the butter's getting hot, close the refrigerator. This one's over.
Okay, okay. Any
Oh,
comments by the viewers?
no, there ain't nobody else down there. But yeah, no, he was and I guess that was also his role. I guess he was the color commentary,
Hmm.
what I'm saying,
You need a
commentator.
little bit of that. You need a little bit of that. Make the audience laugh, or you know what I mean, the
Who was that?
viewers.
I mean, with the Dodgers, we used to have was a Vince Scully.
Yeah,
I mean,
Vince Scully.
he was really really good with that as well. As far as on the radio, just giving a description of the action. As it was happening. He's running. Okay, he's going into a slide. Oh, he is safe. All of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So
So, We might need to work on that. The next frontier is sports for descriptive audio.
Well,
Um,
I mean, get it just regular on TV, period. First, we can't even get it on, regular TV. I mean,
mhm.
you think about network TV. I mean, you they're not required to have a lot.
Yeah, that is true. They're not. They're required to have a certain amount, and that
So,
amount is a little bit. And I think that needed to change because we do have certain networks that will have audio descriptive the whole day for their shows. And I don't know why other networks don't follow suit, you know?
I don't know, man. They again, you know, I don't know. I hate to say it, but I believe, again, my opinion. We're just such a small section of society at large that
Mm.
we ain't got to worry about them. They're just a drop in the bucket anyway. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, I hate to go here, but when counting millions and billions of dollars, you don't worry about a little 5 or 10,000 over there.
Mm. Okay, so we might need to go through the government, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, and again, push the ADA. I mean, I just seen
Hmm.
something the other day up coming up on. I got an email to this morning coming up. I believe on the 5th of next September 5th is an ADA thing on accessible medical devices.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's something. Which agency pushed that? I forgot which one, but they were
Well, I know
pushing.
we did NLB. We pushed that for a few years. I don't know if this is the same kind of bill or what, but
Yeah, I think they
uh,
changed the language to include more.
right. Well, I mean, and that's what I found. In the times I've attended seminar,
Hmm.
sometimes we were carrying basically the same basic bill year after year, but
Hmm.
they would change the language, as you say. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's yeah. They
trying
sometimes
trying
change
to
the language.
trying to make it more appealing to this person or that person or whatever.
I know. It's a lot of
Man,
bureaucracy.
a lot of
Um,
bureaucracy, a lot of stupid stuff, man. Come on.
yeah, because I know folks that have diabetes and they need to measure their insulin and all that, and those things are not accessible for someone that's blind. So I know there's folks that might be undercutting it or overshooting it because they can't really tell, and it's a shame that we're in 2024. According to back in Back to the Future, we're in the future now. You know what I mean? From
Right.
1985, from the 90s, man, we're far ahead, and we have so much technology now, and we can't even make something like that accessible. Even until barely now, we're trying to make
Well, I think
medical
there is
devices
some of it.
accessible.
I think there is some of it. I think that what is that the auto? It's a pen that once you do your glucose reading and you determine how many whatever cc's or whatever you need. It's an injection pen where you can dial it in.
Yeah, they recalled that. They had to recall.
Oh, okay. Well, I
We
mean,
had an
again,
article. Remember, they recalled it because, well, I don't know if I put it in here, but I was reading about it. Something about the injection part. Something was wrong with it, and they had to recall those. I hope they
okay.
fix them because we do need even blood pressure machines, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, they do have the blood pressure ones, but I mean, they're just rare. I mean, they make it. I mean, literally, I had to get a prescription to get one because again, you should be able to just go to a pharmacy or whatever and buy you can as far as the rest of them, right? If
Yeah,
for thermometers and all that kind of stuff, but us. Everything's got to be a prescription for a lot of this. A lot of this stuff is just not accessible. It was touch screen. I mean,
yeah,
I can imagine, if I was on oxygen or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Trying to verify my oxygen levels and all that kind of stuff. And, no, but the way the insurance companies are doing us and trying to keep little time as possible in the hospitals. They want to send you home faster. They'd rather give you some equipment to take to the house. It don't do no good to take it home if I can't use it.
Yes, yes, and it's true. It, I this in my opinion could be a fix. I know they can have a talking device in all these pharmacies and small pharmacies, but have a system where they could order one and you could go back and pick it up. They don't have to have it on stock because I know that's money they're spending, but have an option where we could order it and come into the pharmacy and we're able to buy it. And it shouldn't be three, four, 5 times more than a regular, like a regular device, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, and that's another issue with it. I mean, they want to price it out there because why? Created, they want, just like with the iPhone and voiceover, we should be, in the planning, not an afterthought. And anything that, like you say, in this time, 2024, come on, man. I mean, the way technology is now, come on. It's ever changing. It's ever evolving, at this point now. So therefore, again, we need to be part of the planning, not part, an afterthought.
Yeah.
Just make it a standard that it has to be this way. And then that way, as you're designing your new technology, your new equipment, whatever the case may be, it must contain this element.
And look, and in business sense and business terms, that adds to the bottom line. Because if you need to start a whole other product or or start including a new part and you start planning and all this for to add that part, it's gonna cost the company more money. If you really think about it, if you get everything all together before you make a product, you ship it out and it's good, you don't have to add nothing later, you don't have to do this, you know what I mean? It adds to the bottom line, it will save the company money.
Yeah, I mean, again, no matter how much little it is, it's more than what you had. I mean, you think about, again, how many thousands of dollars, it might not be millions of dollars, but maybe it is worldwide, but that blind people spend on Apple products simply because of voiceover.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you
That's
like
true.
with the phones and the Macs and the tablets and whatever, the iPads, whatever. I mean, they work so flawlessly. Well, they're not totally flawless, but but you get my point. And it's not to say that there's not other phone screen readers, like we say, TalkBack and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, there's other stuff out there, but because we're not an afterthought in this product. Number one is a bonus. Number two, it works. But why? Because it was there from the beginning. It wasn't they trying to adapt the phone to it. You
Yes.
just build the phone around it.
Yeah. And it was included in the build, so it's in the system.
Yeah,
TalkBack, you have to download it when you get a phone, if you know, and you need visual to do that. If you're gonna download TalkBack before it even talks, you need somebody visual. You need to
yeah,
let that person log in into your account. This means your email password and your email you're giving it to a family member. It could be a stranger. It might be the person that's setting up your phone in the mobile store.
right.
But I shouldn't be giving up my password. You know what I mean?
No,
Um, and since Apple has taken the thought and built their system and with VoiceOver included, for the Mac, I find certain features that I'm not able to find in other screen readers. For example, maybe on JAWS and NVIDIA, but that's because they were built different. You know, JAWS and NVIDIA are layered when VoiceOver is actually built into the system and it's in the system from the ground up. So I'm able to do things on my Mac that I'm not able to do on my Windows laptop. But I'm still looking, folks, and I'm gonna be writing emails to Freedom Scientific for certain ideas if it's possible. But what I'm seeing how they're kind of layered above the system, not integrated,
Right.
it might be an issue, but I don't think it may be that major of an issue. I think it's doable and plausible, but it would take, writing these emails and giving feedback, and that's something that I'll be doing.
Well, I mean, and we've had that conversation before as well, my brother. I mean, again, advocacy is advocacy. When we speak with one voice, right?
Mhm.
And we, rather than one person pointing out an issue, if we got 1,000, 10,000 people pointing out that same issue, guess what? They're gonna fix that issue. If it's one person, oh well, we ain't worried about him right now. We'll look into it somewhere down the road, whatever. But when you got numbers, that's what makes things happen. And I mean, I'm sorry, in our community, that's we got people to do it, and then we got arrested a lot of other people to just okay, yeah, they just rather sit around and complain about it. I mean, it's it's like Trump, killing the border deal, so he'd have something to bitch about. You
Yeah,
know, if you don't do nothing, you might as well be, pulling the plug on it.
yeah, and that's actually why some Republicans got upset at Trump because, and some sheriffs over there in Texas got mad at him because he said he's making our officers work more for not letting these bills go through and pass. And yeah,
Right,
folks.
yeah, but Trump don't care about Abbott. Abbott is spending all that government money trying to protect them borders, right? And plus, they're, again, don't get me wrong, we got to fix this stuff. We really need to fix this stuff. These folks crossing these deserts, doing all this dangerous stuff. These other folks out here that want to be, these Minutemen or whatever you want to call them, they call themselves protecting the borders, and they hunting these people down, and who knows what they doing to them people out there in that desert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This madness needs to stop. We need to work this stuff out. But again, people like Trump, he has nothing to offer, right? Again, he killed the bill so he'd have something to point at. He wants to blame Kamala, right? But okay, partner, they put the bill together. You killed it. They were giving you everything that Republicans wanted, but again, you following somebody that's I don't know an ego tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We went from medical devices.
To everything. We all over the map today. Like I said, I don't know if you've been reading the script, but we never know where our conversations are going to take us. So but yeah, no, I mean, again, we got to fix that stuff. I mean, Mexico is right there. I mean, I'm not saying per se have an open border, but again, this we can improve our relationships with Mexico. We could do a lot of work with Mexico as far as trade and stuff like that. I mean,
Hmm.
there's already a lot of Ford is down there. I think GM is talking about going down there and building cars right there. Where they can just drive them across the border rather than on trucks rather than shipping stuff from all the way across the country, right? I
Yes.
mean, again, you're taking jobs away from America, but at the same time, you're helping them down there. You're getting cheaper labor down there, but
And you're
you're also
providing
helping.
income.
But you're right, but you're providing the income to a lot of people that's going to make them stay versus wanting to come up here seeking a job. I
Hmm.
mean, maybe you can just start manufacturing the parts down there and
And
then
assemble them here.
assemble them here. You know,
Hmm. So
something like that.
yeah, and we don't need war with Mexico. From
No,
what
we
I
don't
heard,
need no war with
they wanna go dump bombs over there. Come on, our neighbor, like as you going to your neighbor house and dropping some bombs. Like, come on.
no. They
That's just some
want
idiocy. To me, that's just
they
idiocy right there.
they want to drop bombs in South Central LA. Okay, They just feel that's the best way to get rid of anybody what they consider to be undesirable. You know, they want to drop a bomb on them, right? I mean, look at what they're doing to them poor folks over there in Palestine. You know, on the way, man, leave them people alone. Let them people live their life. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So, can we again, as my brother, the late great Rodney King? Can we all just get along?
Yeah.
You know.
It is tragic what's happening over there overseas, and the children. I think of the children and stuff like that. That's, oh man, the parents are gone. A lot of children are without limbs and stuff like that, and oh man,
Man, it's so sad.
it is sad.
War is, ooh, is ugly. It really is. I mean, just
And
look at your
for somebody that is a draft dodger asking for war, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't
Well,
even go together. I don't know.
somebody that's not willing to go put their own life on the line. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
correct.
So
Someone that
it's
won't even put their life on the line for the country had a doctor that gave him an excuse to dodge the draft. You know what I mean? And he's asking for more war, and he's willing to give out all these weapons, and you know what I mean, without
well,
getting nothing back. That's what basically he's doing. He's gonna give out
well,
weapons like he did on his term, and he's not gonna ask for nothing back.
well. I mean, no, he's getting it back already. It's called the industrial. Was it the military industrial war complex?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of his donors. You know what I'm saying? That are building these tanks and bombs and guns and bullets and all this stuff that he's giving away, right? So I mean, as we give that stuff away to these other people, countries or whatever, our stockpiles need to be replenished, and that's where the money is. I mean, taxpayers pay for all of that, and hey, the folks that are making the money get the money, and making the products, they get the money, and okay, I just made 10 billion. Here's 100,000.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, y'all, it's after the 10 o'clock. Politics is I'm sorry, it's part of life, really. But plus with the election coming up, we're trying to point out the difference between two different sides. But anyway, choose who you will. I mean, I ain't mad at anybody. You want to come on in, defend your side, if you on that other side, you're more than welcome. Get at us, info@blindunited.org. Again, anything you want to know about us, check us out, info@blindunited.org. It's been a lovely day, Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow on the next one. Have a great day, my brother. I'll talk to you later.